September is here. I am about to go through the shoes that I really want for the month of September. There's not a lot of shoes on this list, but the top five, the top four, they are just unbelievable. They are must-haves. But there are 8 shoes on this list. I think all of them are very nice. All of them I really want. But the top half is just speechless. And disclaimer, like every time I do this each month, the release dates in the sneaker industry are as fluid as water. They change all the time. There are some shoes that are supposed to drop that haven't been announced yet. There are shoes that will be pushed out into later on in this year. Don't blame me, blame the sneaker companies that are super flaky. Here we go. And first at number 8, it is the Converse Shea 1 that is dropping on September 4th for $130. Now this is of course finals MVP and regular season MVP Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's first signature shoe. And I gotta say, I feel like they really timed the release of this shoe wrong. It's been teased for so long, I think nearly a year, maybe even over a year, that we've seen official images of this shoe. NBA season is over. He absolutely killed it this season. Shoe still hasn't come out. There's been a bunch of other colorways that we know are officially dropping. Shoe still has not come out. This just has taken too long. He's about to enter his next season in October, and this shoe is just dropping the month before. It's just, they should have dropped this shoe earlier, but with all that said, looking at this shoe just in a vacuum, this has to be one of the more sleek basketball shoes that's released in recent memory. So you see that very distinct zipper design, and it's hard to overlook the connection to the Reebok Answer 4s, but this shoe just looks good. It looks very, very nice. Very different. I think you can probably pull this off court as well if you really wanted to. And in terms of tech specs, this shoe, probably nothing special at this price point. You get a foam midsole with a rectangular Zoom Air unit in the forefoot area, as well as the radial type of traction on the outsole. Tongue also features Shea's logo, and I will have to say, with an industry that has a bunch of basketball shoes that don't really stand out, there's some exceptions like A'ja Wilson's signature shoes look pretty good. Anthony Edwards, of course. Sabrina's perform really well, but I won't say that silhouette wise they are the most out there, the most bold or most interesting shoe. But this one definitely makes a huge statement. So definitely looking forward to getting this shoe on court. At number 3, it is the Jordan 3 Al Vuelo, aka Mexico, that is dropping on September 20, as well as a September 6 Mexico release. Now this shoe is inspired by Lucha Libre. So you see the Mexican colors, obviously very distinct on this Jordan 3, and you get a modified overlay on the upper that is meant to represent luchador masks. And they did swap out the elephant print. So instead you get this kind of foliage skin on there. The tongue also is customized. So inside the tongue, you get the phrase, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but apparently, based on what I've researched, it means skill is worth more than strength. Basically, if you want to translate it to an English quote, kind of means work smarter, not harder, work more intelligently, not just kind of brute force. And you get very distinct gold Jumpman on the tongue, as well as gold eyelets. And then look at this box. This box is just so on theme. I'm glad they came with a special box. And this shoe follows up last year's Jordan 5 El Grito, the shoe that I reviewed. It was a very nice shoe with very nice materials. Hopefully this can come the same as well. I don't think this is as good as the Jordan 5 El Gritos, but that might just be my personal Jordan 5 kind of bias, but it does look to be a pretty special release. Definitely looking forward to getting this one. Now, number 6, it is the Jordan 40 Dusty Rose that is dropping on September 20 for $205. Jordan 40 easily just one of the best Air Jordan shoes that has dropped in recent memory, at least best looking. I have played in these, have not reviewed the Jordan 40 in terms of a performance review, but I'm definitely going to do that very soon. I got the blue suede colorway. Pink must be the in color right now. Ton of different shoes have an all pink monochromatic type of colorway, and on the Jordan 40, it looks really good. And what makes this one kind of stand out is the patent leather that you see on the upper, and it does feature full-length ZoomX foam as well as Zoom Strobel, and that is the first time Jordan Brand or Nike has stuffed those two in the same basketball shoe. And you'll see the Jordan 40 is inspired by past iconic Jordans. The tongue is taken from the 5s. You get that 3M aesthetic, the heel counter from the 3 and 4. The whole design language of the Jordan 40 in terms of its logo is comprised of just 40-degree angles. And the traction pattern is also in 40-degree angles as well. I believe there's currently 9 colorways that have been released or shown to the public for the Jordan 40s. I'm really looking forward to new PEs, kind of more special colorways that are supposed to come out later or next year. But as of now, I don't think any colorway has really missed. You got the first colorway, the black and white classic one, blue suede, delicious, inspired by the UNC blue. This dusty rose colorway, all pink, might be a bit harder to pull off and might be a bit too out there, but just sitting on a shelf, it looks great. And at number 5, it is the Jordan 4 Cavestone that is dropping on September 6th for $220. Now this shoe I've actually just reviewed. If you want to see more details in terms of materials, how it looks on feet, definitely check that out. And this one, I believe Jordan Brand has tried to make it slightly more special. So you get that slightly raised price of $220. You also get Nike Air on the booty. So general rule, non-OG colorways get the Jumpman treatment. OG colorways as well as like very special collaborations get that Nike Air, but this one has Nike branding all throughout. So on the booty, on the outsole, as well as on the insole itself. And in terms of like non-OG colorways goes, this is really nice. Maybe it's just my age. As I get older, I tend to appreciate brown shoes a lot more. And this isn't like super brown. There's a bit of gray tinge to it. Sometimes the saturation on Nike's like official images just is too deep. It just does not look like that in hand. But it's still kind of a brown shade, and it does have a more sophisticated type of look to the shoe. It looks really good. And in terms of the materials, it's all nubuck, pretty nice to the touch as well. You might say this is a poor man's Jordan 4 Travis Scott sample, but if you just put them like side by side, I really feel like it's just as good, nearly as good. The Taupe Haze Jordan 4 is pretty similar too. I think this one is definitely better than that. And number 4, it is the Travis Scott Fragment Design Jordan 1 Low that is dropping on September 20 for $150. Wouldn't be too surprised if this release date changed. The release dates of these like super special collaborations always feel kind of uncertain. They kind of push it out, move it around as if we don't have any feelings, but September 20th, right now, it seems to be dropping, and this is the 3rd iteration of the 3-way collaboration between Fragment Design, Travis Scott, as well as Jordan Brand. This might be, I think, out of the 3, probably, in my opinion anyway, the weakest one, but that color combination it's hard to say no to. So of course you get that large reverse swoosh, as well as Cactus Jack branding on the booty. Of course you get his emblem as well, and Fragment Design's Thunderbolt logo, a kind of sail upper. Better come with some very nice materials. You get 8 eyelets, just like an 85 cut Jordan 1 Low. Just like how it came in 1985, Travis Scott always gets very, very special OG treatment. And despite me not being able to name a single Travis Scott song, I basically stopped listening to music in like 2010. Most of the shoes and collaborations, you have to admit, are a hit. Now at number 3, it is the Nike MX95 Yu-Gi-Oh! That is dropping on September 12th for $210. Now, if you grew up in the 90s and you didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh!, you had a terrible childhood. Let's yo! You can't miss. It was one of the best. And one of the main characters in the show, Yugi's best friend, Joey Wheeler, he always had a shoe that is obviously inspired by the 95s. So it was named the Air Muscle. So Nike and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have come together to create a shoe that was on feet in the cartoon in the form of this Air Max 95. And it comes with this blacked out Nike Air bubble, just like it was in the cartoon, with a custom tongue tag that says Air Muscle. It also has custom branding on the booty with the text 1995 Nike Yu-Gi-Oh! As well as branded insoles and outsole. Comes with a very special box too, and a trading card. Of course, you had to throw that in there. How dare they if they didn't? Now, Japan does get another colorway. It's got this kind of black and gray look to it. We, us peasants, just get this one colorway. Maybe we'll get like a later release of that other one. But right now, it's just this one. And if you are a kid of the 90s, you need to get this just for like, just to be principled, just to feel right about yourself. This is a must-have. Every time I think of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I think of Joey Wheeler, and I can never like get his voice out of my head when his name comes up. Blue Eyes White Dragon. It was just, come on, what a fun time. I'm glad it's just on sneakers. They better not like switch things up and make it super confusing. And even though I'm not like a huge Air Max 95 guy, Air Max 1 is my favorite Air Maxes. This is special. And number 2, it is the Jordan 5 Tokyo that is dropping on September 27th for $215. They have already dropped in Japan, and this shoe was a grail to many people. Originally, it dropped in 2011, exclusively in Japan, and it was to celebrate Jordan Brand's largest retail store, Tokyo 23. Since then, Road of Flight has actually surpassed it, but this shoe was super limited, very hard to get, and in 2025, because Jordan Brand is desperate, they bring back all the heavy hitters, all the grails. So they brought back this shoe, and And as a Jordan 5 lover, my favorite sneaker of all time, come on. For a while, I had the Jordan 5 Michigans. Did I go to Michigan? No. But did I need it just because I couldn't get my hands on this? Absolutely. It was still a very nice shoe, actually, the Jordan 5 Michigans. But when news of this came out, I was like, I can't keep everything. I already have the Michigans, but I need this. I'll probably just sell it for dirt cheap. But this is a must-have. So you get this full yellow nubuck upper, of course, with that emblem and logo on the heel of the shoe instead of a usual 23, the distinct 3M tongue with the Jordan 5 lace lock. One thing they did change, because it would upset a lot of people who spent a lot of money for the original Grails, is that toe. So they changed it to yellow, so you can still distinguish who is a peasant, who is not, who had the originals, who doesn't. I'm one of that peasant group, but despite that, I need this. I just absolutely need this. And fun fact, I actually have these in hand, and I'm about to record my video of this shoe. So I can't wait. And finally, at number 1, it is no surprise, it is the Jordan 5 Fire Red that is dropping on September 13th for $215. So both number 1 and number 2 are Jordan 5s. Am I biased? Yes. Do I care? Not really, because, come on, this is the Black Tongue Fire Red. It is one of the best OG colorways. Honestly, all the Jordan 5 OGs are just absolutely delicious. It is not my favorite. The Black Metallic is my favorite, but this is so good. And it is the retro of this colorway that is most like the original 1990 version of the shoe. So you see in terms of the shape, slightly like more sleek in the toe box area, doesn't come super boxy. That 23 on the font, that actually looks like the one in 1990, unlike the previous retro versions where the font was all jacked up. And fun fact, this was the only OG colorway that actually came with 23 on the heel. Michael Jordan did get like other OG colorways with 23, but that was his PE. The general public did not. 23, they do stick on some like other special Jordan 5s nowadays, but back in the day when the Jordan 5s first released, this was the only one with it. And it does come with Nike Air branding on the booty too. Both the retro versions in 2006 and 2013 had the Jumpman on the back, and it also comes with an upside down Jordan tag. Retro versions, again, they flipped it right side up. So this, like I said, is the first time we're seeing it so true to form, and it couldn't be anything but number 1 on this list. It's an OG Jordan 5, my favorite sneaker of all time. I would be a dirtbag piece of shit if I put it anything but number 5. So that's it. Thanks for watching Soul Inclined. Let me know what shoes I missed. Let me know what shoes you really want from the month of September. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.